Wings of Glory World War II Battle of Britain has two players controlling planes and the skies over Britain in the Second World War. Oh, I almost forgot. This copy of the game was provided to us by Ares Games in exchange for an honest review. There are a bunch of scenarios and tons of modular rules. I'm going to focus on the first scenario and the basic rules. As we go, I'll touch on a few others. Okay, so if you don't own a map, you'll need to frame the play area. All scenarios, including this one, Never in the Field, give the setup information in the book, historical background and outcome, number of players, map dimensions, starting point, win conditions, and variants. Your goal here is simple: outlast your opponent. Once the tokens are separated into piles and each player has chosen a side, plastic basin stands, decks, and has gotten to a position, you're ready. The airplane card shows the model and pilot as well as side. Allies are green, the axis is gray. It also shows firing arc at the top. At the bottom is damage resistance, meaning health, what decks use, and a movement arrow. In the bottom right, you'll see short and long range damage. Depending on your range, your opponent will draw those chits when you hit them. Remove the climb and dive cards. They have red arrows from the maneuver deck when playing the basic game. On these cards, the long blue arrow is your path at high speed, the shorter arrow with a white head is your path at low speed. In the bottom left, you'll see the card number and what deck it belongs to. In the bottom right, you may see special symbols like a diamond, meaning steep. You can't play two steep cards in a row. A stall maneuver is a steep card with a short arrow. An Immelmann turn needs a straight move, the Immelmann reverse, then another straight. In Wings of Glory, turns have multiple phases. You'll plan by secretly choosing a card, then play it on your console. In the basic game, you'll always use the blue, meaning high-speed arrow. Once everyone's ready, reveal and resolve the movement. Line up the plane base and card. Follow the path until the base's movement arrowhead is on top of the maneuver cards. You've planned and moved. Now resolve the third and final phase, firing. Use the ruler and the half mark on it to determine if an enemy is within long or short range. If an enemy's plane stand is within your plane's firing arc and the ruler, you can hit them. If the plane falls within the close half of the ruler, they draw damage chits based on your plane's short-range firepower. They otherwise draw long-range damage. If your plane has left the playing area during the game, it is removed from the battle. You win if all of your enemies' planes have been destroyed or you have otherwise met your objective. Choose cards, plan wisely, don't put yourself in too much danger, and take out your enemies. That's Wings of Glory World War II Battle of Britain. Our dining table is 7 feet by 3.5 feet, and we need close to 2/3 of it for Wings of Glory. This game has a huge play area. Keep that in mind if you're considering picking this up. Setup and takedown, thanks to the insert, is really quick. The box says playtime is 30 plus minutes, but that's really only true for some of the dog fights. Well, okay, I think most scenarios could be played on weeknights, but everything depends on how the chits come out and how long it takes players to decide. I'll talk about this in the likes and dislikes, but for most people, I think 60 minutes should cover most scenarios. If playing with the basic rules, I think most 8-year-olds won't have any problems, possibly younger if you play with the damage visible. I'd save the standard rules for experienced 9 and 10-year-old gamers. We play Wings of Glory World War II Battle of Britain's first scenario, Never in the Field, a lot because it's so quick. It's a pure dogfight and can get pretty tense at times. In one game against Mom, she inflicted massive damage to my one-axis plane, 15 points out of a maximum of 17. On the other hand, she only did 1 damage to my other plane. I kept drawing zeros. I slowly chipped away at her planes, destroying 1. She kept saying, "How is that one still alive?" In the end, I shot her down from the sky. She couldn't believe it. Wings of Glory World War II Battle of Britain isn't cheap. It's around $65 Canadian. For that price, I wish there had been a third plane type, or even better, a paper mat, so we didn't have to use masking tape to frame the area. The play area is important. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. If you fly out of bounds, you're out of the game. At least one plane is. Ask my mom about that. The minis are awesome, although we had to modify the insert, which is otherwise really good, so they didn't get damaged when pulling them out. One propeller broke, but Dad fixed it with modeling glue. The plastic bases on top of your deck are your reference cards. Smart. The modular rules are awesome. I'll talk about this again in the next section, but seriously, they're amazing. Want to add some programming, a bit more movement strategy, and super cool special damage chits? Use some or all of the standard rules. Want to add a whole pile of altitude and speed rules for movement and firing? Use some or all of the advanced rules. There are also 4 pages of optional rules, a couple more for ace and rookie pilots, and then even more for different airplanes that are available for purchase. Yeah, about that. You can buy around 20 planes for Battle of Britain alone. Then there are a ton of additional World War II planes, including bombers. Did you know there is a World War I set? And ships and sails of glory? And yeah. If you're interested in expanding things, you can, but you never feel like you have to, which is good. I like that special maneuvers are limited. These are World War II planes, and they can only do so much. This adds a bit of strategy. When should I bust out my Immelmann turn? Things like that. I love that there are a few scenarios in the box, but you can easily create your own or use ones people online have made. Some can be played co-op, or if you have additional planes, you can add more players. Cool. You'll eventually know your deck and your opponents, what damage can be inflicted, and can better plan things. This takes the game to a whole new level. It can be very exciting having an idea, but not knowing exactly what shape you or your opponent pulled. Analysis paralysis, or AP, means you freeze when you need to make decisions. If you or your regular gaming partner are like that, maybe pass on this one. This game is best when you're quickly grabbing your cards, revealing and resolving them, then repeating. If the players don't suffer from AP, turns are quick, and the game is fast, exciting action from the first turn right up until the end. I really like Wings of Glory Battle of Britain a lot. Ares Games did a great job with the modular rules being detailed but still easy to understand for different skill and experience levels. The allies feel different from the Axis because the allies have a few extra agile moves, but the Axis deal more damage. This game is for fans of interactive, strategic, and tactical games. If you love discovering history, you'll learn about this battle and the cool planes. This history lesson in a box is highly recommended.